All right, you guys, it is that time again for another real estate market update. Now, it is December, so let's go over what happened in the real estate market for the month of November. So what did homes end up selling for last month? So homes that sold in Las Vegas Valley include properties that are located in Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, and yes, I'm going to include Pahrump in this update. So let's also check out the cost of rent as far as what it currently looks like for the Las Vegas Valley as well. But to get a complete understanding as to what is happening out there, you need to also know what's happening with interest rates, housing inventory, and demand. Okay, so where are we when it comes to property values? What are homes selling for in the month of November? All right, you guys, so this chart right here goes over median sales prices, and we've got the results for what happened back in November. So in Las Vegas, you can see right here, this is where we're at. But overall, the reason why I want to show you guys the chart is because I want you guys to see the nice increase that we have seen, going back all the way from January of 2023. So we've got all of 2023, and we've got pretty much we're almost done with the year of 2024. So this beautiful increase. So if we go back to see kind of where we were at a year ago, look at Las Vegas was at 450,000. North Las Vegas was at basically 405,000. Henderson was at 492 and Pahrump was at 345. And you can see the beautiful increase that we have seen, over the year. Specifically, let's go over the exact numbers. So Las Vegas currently sits at a median sales price of $479,000. Now that puts them at about 1% higher than they were back a month ago in October. But this also ends up putting Las Vegas at about 6.5% higher than they were this time last year. Now that, as far as property value increases, just for those of you who don't know, 6.5% is a really, really good increase over 1 year's time frame, just to kind of put some perspective. Now, North Las Vegas is about 429,000, and that puts them at a whopping 3% increase from this time, from October. So that is huge, and they are about 6% higher than they were this time last year. Now, Henderson, Henderson has such volatility in their property values. Now, where were they for November? Well, Henderson basically sits right now at about 510,000, which is about a 3.7% decline from where they were back in October. That is a massive decrease in just 1 month, but they're up from where they were last year at about 3.5%. So it's pretty much almost a wash. They're pretty much at where they were this time last year. But that's all of the city of Henderson. Your specific property, if you live in Henderson, you own a property, I'd have to actually look into your property specifically. So yours may not fall into this category. You may actually have an increase in property value. But with that said, they're pretty much flat for Henderson. Now, Pahrump currently sits at about 410,000, which is the same as to where they were back in October. But if you own a property in Pahrump, I want to say congratulations. Why am I saying that? Because you guys have had about a 19 to almost 20% increase from where you were last year. That's right. Pahrump is, in a sense, kind of blowing up if you want to look at it like that. Property values in Pahrump are, typically significantly lower than you find here in the Valley. And maybe people are realizing that, and that's why there's much more demand for buying a property there in Pahrump, therefore justifying an almost 20% increase in just 1 year. So congrats for those who own property there. Now, if you have been watching my market updates, which I hope that you guys do, you have heard me answer the question, why are property values still increasing when we have such high interest rates, right? Shouldn't that basically either stop people from either wanting to buy or being able to buy? And yes, the answer to that question is yes. But, and there is a big but, all right, those high interest rates are keeping people from wanting to buy and being able to buy. But this is where the but comes in. So Las Vegas Valley is dealing with a serious shortage of homes available for sale. So, and because of that, this is why, even though the number of buyers which are low, and because of the interest rates, those numbers are low, but we then end up having a lower number of properties available for sale in comparison to the number of buyers. This is why property values are going up. It's all that whole supply and demand thing, right? So now I want to go ahead and I want to address those who are watching who want prices to come down, which I completely understand. You want affordability to come back. You want, basically a de-acceleration of the way in which property values have been going up. So you saw, the nice increase of property values continuously going up from, 2 years ago, a year ago, and you're just like, dude, can we at least slow down a little bit? I get it. But I'm going to phrase it this way as to, if we're going to have property values come down, two things have to happen. One, demand would definitely have to fall off a cliff, basically. And now that's either going to come by either, demand for properties to fall off a cliff by either mass unemployment, which nobody wants to have happen, right? Nobody wants to lose their job. You don't want to lose your job. You lose your job, you have no interest in buying anything, let alone basically a house, right? Or we end up having interest rates just skyrocket, higher than you've seen over the last year or two. Now, nobody wants that either. Those who want to refinance don't want, interest rates to blow up, and those who want to purchase a property want to be able to, maintain or get better affordability in being able to purchase a property. And high interest rates for those who have to borrow don't want that at all. But those are one of the two things when it comes to demand. Now, you also have the supply, that if supply of homes were to jump up, meaning that a lot of homeowners that currently are sitting in their property decide, you know what, we're just going to want to put our property onto the market. And that's not just one. You're talking about tons of people in the Las Vegas Valley doing that basically all at once. Inventory of homes would have to blow up. And I don't see that happening. Basically, why would a bunch of people put their properties onto the market? I mean, could you think of anything or any reason? I can't think of any reason. So I don't think that that is likely to happen. So, I get where you guys are coming from when you want affordability or you want to be able to catch up to, property values basically kind of becoming flat. And maybe they will. I don't know. It really all depends upon supply of homes and where demand sits. So if interest rates start to actually begin to fall, I don't know, that's actually going to put fuel on the fire for demand. Demand goes up, property values are most likely going to start to go back up. Or if interest rates fall, demand for housing is going to end up going up. So with us onto the whole topic of supply and demand, let's check out what's happening with the number of homes available for sale. All right, you guys, so this chart right here goes into new listings. That's a little bit different than what's currently onto the market. And I know that could sound a little confusing, but this is just charting how many properties at any given time or any month end up hitting the market. So all of these, we're going back to 2021, at least on this chart. So you can see that I want to point out this. Every time of year, beginning of the year, middle, and then we're into the winter holiday season, all has its basically moments of demand as far as the supply of homes. When I say demand, but the supply of homes. So supply ends up dropping off as we get out of the summertime and we move into basically the school year, the beginning of the school year, the beginning of wintertime, fall and holidays and all of that. And you guys can see that right here. We peak here in the summertime and we start to, literally start to fall as we move into fall and into the holiday season. Every single year, same thing that happens, that same trend. No different here. But overall, for 2023 and 2024, we have had a low amount of properties that end up hitting the market. This here is a chart going over homes available for sale, but we have not jumped significantly up. We're still relatively low. Now, this here is a chart of what's going on with demand. I'm going to show you this. I know that this looks confusing. Let's go to a little bit more, updated time frame. So this is 21-1 to where we are today. So again, now this is where we're sitting as far as days on the market. They kind of dipped down during the winter season, except for 2022. That was a crazy time. But we dip down here into the winter time, and then we start to, begin to pick back up again. But again, because of the low inventory, properties don't sit on the market for very long. Okay, so let's check out what is happening with interest rates, right? Because that's going to affect demand. Okay, so this here gives us an update as to what's happening with 30-year fixed mortgage rates. So we're going all the way back, literally the beginning of this year. And you can see the volatility. We peaked out over here at about 5.5%. And this was back in the end of April, beginning of May. And we had a beautiful downtrend. And we kind of bottomed out right here at the midpoint of September 16th. But we had a massive sharp increase from there, putting us right at about the beginning of November. But the beginning of November, remember, we had what? We had the election. And Donald Trump ended up winning the presidential election. And from that time, interest rates have had a nice decline. So I think that a lot of this volatility was literally people just not knowing what was going to happen with the election. And a lot of people were just buying into bonds and just trying to be safe as far as where they were putting their money. And that's what ends up affecting interest rates. But now that that is over, the election is over, people are kind of pouring back into the stock market again. And those of you who follow the stock market, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But back to the chart, this is a nice decline. And I'm hoping that we continue that downtrend. And I'm hoping that maybe even this time next year, we're in the, let's say, mid fives as far as mortgage rates. Now, that is going to end up being, a blessing for those of you who bought a property and you got, an interest rate that was fixed right there in the, let's say mid sixes or the 7%. Now, if we end up continuously having a downtrend in these mortgage rates, expect the demand for housing to increase. Therefore, what's going to happen with the property values? Well, if we don't have a massive acceleration of properties hitting the market, meaning the supply of homes jump way up, but yet we've got demand that end up increasing, expect the property values are going to start to increase. And that's pretty much nationwide. If interest rates come down, property values are going to, jump back up again. So, it's really all about what is going to end up happening with the current people in a home. Are they going to start listing their properties or not? Because if we continue this downtrend, property values are going to start to continuously increase. Okay, so let's shift gears and let's jump into what's happening with rent rates, right? Not all of us are homeowners right now, but we're looking to go ahead and either stay where we're at or we're looking to go ahead and move into another rental property. Let's check out what's going on with rent rates. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to take you into the MLS so that you can see, what is actually going on with rent rates, and we can kind of see some of the properties that are in there. So let's jump into what's happening with the rent rates. All right, you guys, this is the MLS. Now, we're doing residential rentals, and I'm doing single-family homes. This isn't apartments, condominiums, townhouses, or anything like that, all right? It's just single family. Now, I'm going to go back 30 days, and we're going to go leased. We don't want what's actively out there. We want to know what actually ended up leasing. So this is for the city of Henderson, and we're going to change the cities up, but I don't want to put prices, number of bedrooms, how big the property is, none of that stuff. We want a general understanding as to what's happening with rent rates. So with that, we've got for the city of Henderson, 200 results. So if we kind of look at the map, this is what's happening and where these properties are located that ended up leasing over the last 30 days. So you can see all the way to Lake Las Vegas, Sun City Anthem, all of that. All right, so let's take a look at what these results, what these properties actually look like. All right, so here they are. So this is so all the way at the top here, and as we scroll down, the rent rate or the amount that it rented for ends up increasing. But this is what the lowest property ends up looking like. I'm just showing you some of the pictures here. Interesting. They had the refrigerator open. That's definitely not common. But, you know, a nice little single family home, no backyard. I mean, so this is what you're getting for about $2,300 a month in Henderson on the lowest scale. Actually, you know what? No, my bad. I'm on page 3. If we go to page 1, my bad. So here's 1,400. Man, I'm confusing the heck out of you guys. So this here is, let's get out of this. Let's look at it. So a 1,700 square foot single family home, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Wow. 1,400. What is going on with this place? How do you get 1,700 in 1 bedroom, 1 bath? What is going on? No, this has got to be inaccurate. That place can't be that big. Anyway, you guys can see here what the properties look like, you know, what the amounts are. So, yeah, so let's take a look at, this is what I want you guys to see here. Aside from what we're looking at here, this here is the 200 results we got for Henderson. You got the minimum, you've got the maximum rents, the square footage, but this is what we want. We don't want average because average takes in these extremes here. We don't want that. We want median. So median, you've got a 3-bedroom, basically 2.5 bath, a little over 1,800 square feet for about $2,300 a month. So that was probably the reason why I had it on page 3. Let's go to page 3. What does a $2,300 a month place get you? Here's one. So you got a pool, nice open concept, fireplace. I'm surprised the furniture's in there. Don't know why. Maybe they're renting it with the furniture. But that's really nice. Why am I looking at? Let's see here. Were we not looking at a 2-story? Why was there a single story there? All right, some of these listing agents. Okay, so here's another single story. 3-car garage. This is Henderson again. Got some, like, it's not really an RV gate. You just got a good size gate. You could probably pull in maybe a small little vehicle, maybe a toy or something like that. But look at that. Open concept, fireplace, newer countertops, island. This is nice. Renovated bathroom. So this is what you're looking at in Henderson, $2,300 a month. I'm not going to show you a ton of properties because you don't want to sit here with me for that long. But let's get a better idea as to what is going on with, let's say, Las Vegas. What's going on in Las Vegas? We got 800 and almost 40 results, single family homes. Let's check this out. So this is on the lower end. So we got $1,400 for a 13, almost 1,400 square foot property. Very little time in the market in comparison to this bad boy who was on there for, holy cow, over 100 days. Now, if we jump into the numbers to get the median rent rate, let's check out what this looks like. So this is Las Vegas again, 840 results, median rent rates, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, little over 1,800 square feet for $2,100 a month. Okay, so what does a $2,100 a month property look like for Las Vegas? So we're going to have to probably jump over to a couple of pages here. 2,100. Wow. Let's see here. Here's 2,100. roughly. Man, these photos are small. Let's get a better property. All right, here's 2100. Are they renting this stuff with the furniture in it? This is the second property I found this way. Interesting. Here's another 2100 a month property. I want to see the backyard. What's the backyard look like? So understand that for a lot of you out there who aren't familiar with Las Vegas properties, you know, the newer the home is, the less backyard size you're going to get. The lot sizes are significantly smaller. They cram as many properties in these developments as possible. The older the property, or the more expensive, the bigger lot you're going to get. So this is what you're getting for $2,100 a month in Las Vegas. All right, let's check out North Las Vegas, if I spell it correctly. We got 121 results. Again, a lot of these properties are all going to basically be looking the same, but let's look at what these single-family homes actually are costing for North Las Vegas. Again, we're looking at median. We're not looking at the extremes here. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, you know, under 1,800 square feet for about $1,900 to almost $2,000 a month. Now let's check out what properties look like over there in Pahrump. What's the difference? All right, so we've got 5 properties. I want to let you guys know, Pahrump is a significantly smaller city. You know, it's basically, I would say, maybe the size of Henderson. So, but it's much smaller. This is why we've got such a little amount of properties. But hey, let's check out what they look like. So the minimum, you're going to have the maximum here. Now, I'm going to tell you that the lot sizes are massive. Look at these, 8,000, 50,000, 50,000, 20,000, 43,000. You are getting a ton of land, in a sense. When you rent a property in Pahrump, you get a lot more space, a lot more. So let's check out these rent rates. We can actually see them because there's only 5 of them. You're going from $1,000 to about $2,000 a month. Here's the square footage. You can see here, maybe roughly around 1,500 square feet. But I mean, let's check one of these out. Smaller property, but massive lot. I don't know what in the world you would do with that much space. Let's take a look at another one. So this is a newer home. So even though a lot of people are like, man, there's a lot of rundown properties over there. No, there just depends. I mean, you can get a really nice, you know, newer home with a big lot, and it's not going to cost you anywhere near what it's costing you to be in Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas. And if you're willing to drive the hour it takes to get there from Las Vegas, then you can get yourself something really nice, and it costs you a heck of a lot less. You guys can see how nice these properties are. And again, that property renting out for, you know, a little over $1,800 a month. So that gives you a little bit of a window into, you know, what's going on with rent rates, North Las Vegas, Henderson, Las Vegas, and, you know, in Pahrump. Okay, so there you guys have it. We've got a pretty good, you know, increase in property values over the past year for Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, and even Pahrump, especially Pahrump, with that 19 to almost 20% increase in property values. Now, mortgage rates are back on the decline, as we ended up seeing, which, you know, we have a better understanding as to what's happening, you know, in that realm as far as interest rates and property values. Well, so that pretty much wraps it up as to what's going on currently in the housing market in the Las Vegas Valley and even Pahrump. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm a licensed real estate agent. So if you guys are wanting a real estate professional that has your guys' back when buying or selling a home, please end up reaching out to me. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.